All right, y'all. So this is gonna be a real quick video. I'm thoroughly confused as to what's going on in the NBA in regards to, what just transpired recently. The Memphis Grizzlies just fired their head coach. 7-8 games left in the season, and Denver fired their head coach, their championship-winning head coach, with 5 games left in the regular season. I'm confused. I mean, help me out here. I'm just a guy that makes sports content on YouTube, so I don't really know, exactly what is transpiring here. But these were two winning coaches, two winning coaches. Both of these squads are going to make the playoffs. At the time of Taylor Jenkins' firing, Memphis, I want to say, was 4th or 5th in the West. Right now, they sit 7th. And Denver fired Mike Malone, and they were 4th. So in he's 2 years removed from a championship. So I'm not quite understanding what is going on with the idea or the mindset of, let me go ahead and fire this coach right now, right before the playoffs. It's not like this is 2 bottom feeding teams that struggled all throughout the regular season and just said, you know what, let's cut our losses now. It gives us more time to figure out what our next move is going to be. No, these teams are going into the playoffs. Like that. I mean, they're dark horses to make a move in the West. I mean, the West is so stacked to the point where any of the 8 teams that are going to make it, maybe excluding the Kings or the Mavericks if they get out of the play-in. But you can look at OKC, you can look at Houston, you can look at LA, you can look at the Clippers, Denver, Golden State, Memphis, and Minnesota. All 8 of those teams. If any of those 8 teams came out, maybe Memphis would be, a surprise, but any of those 8 teams came out, I don't think I would be that surprised. The Western Conference is so gridlocked, whereas the bottom, 4 teams, they all have the same record. Any of these teams can make a move and get hot and come out of the Western Conference. And you fire your coach a week or so away from the playoffs. Like, why do that? And in Denver's case, you fire your coach and your GM. Now, this video is more so about Denver than Memphis. Memphis, I don't know. I guess it's just kind of, it is what it is. I don't know if that was just Ja and, everything that's going on with him. Maybe they were butting heads. Taylor Jenkins, maybe he lost control of the locker room. I don't know. He never really seemed like he was a fit for Memphis. So and I didn't know much about him prior to him getting to Memphis, but he's Memphis, winningest head coach in franchise history. So that's crazy to fire him right before the playoffs. But, I digress. This is more so from a Denver's perspective. Now, you win the championship 2 years ago, and last year went 7 to the team that I thought was the best team in the West, in Minnesota. They just, caught Dallas that was just, white hot, and they didn't make any adjustments defensively. You come back and you have you still have a pretty decent season all the way throughout. You got the best player on the planet in Jokic on your roster, and you were in a position to, have a high seed in the playoffs, and you fire your coach. Okay. Not only you fire your coach, but you fire your GM. Now, apparently, they weren't seeing eye to eye when it came to playing certain players. Mike Malone was really a fan of Russell Westbrook, and I believe the GM Calvin Booth was wanting them to play the young guys, the guys that he drafted more, and so they kind of butt heads. And you can't have your head coach and your GM butting heads. Personnel, you have to be on the same page. The GM's going to bring the players in, go out and get the players, that the coach is wanting for the squad so that he can coach the squad to get them to where they're trying to be inevitably. And then I've seen stories about preferential treatment. The Jokic and Murray are getting preferential treatment. That he's being more lenient on the star players than everybody else. And then there's players that seem to have issues with his treatment of Russell Westbrook coming in. And, he's being favored over other players. But, Russell Westbrook is a Hall of Famer. Jokic is a Hall of Famer. Jamal Murray, I'm not sure, but, he is a star player, right? So, I mean, typically, star players, they do get, a bit more, favoritism. I'm sure that's a word. They get a star treatment. You think Michael Jordan was treated the same way Jud Bushler was treated? You think Kobe Bryant was treated the same way Sasha Vucevic? The Sasha boy. Yeah, I think it was Vucevic. You know who I'm talking about. You think he was treated the exact same way? You think LeBron was treated the same way Mo Williams was? Like, and you just have to like really think about who we're talking about here. We're talking about star players. Oh, they're not going to be treated the exact same way. Maybe they should be. You definitely want to be able to hold the star players accountable. Now, if that wasn't happening, I understand there being some vitriol from the other guys towards the coach. I also saw that apparently Jokic wasn't feeling how fiery Mike Malone would be sometimes. And I'm like, do you want a soft coach? This would make more sense if they never won. You got a championship, dog. Like, I mean, why do you, I don't know. You got a championship. I just don't understand the idea of a team firing their head coach, a playoff team, firing their head coach a week before the playoffs start. I don't understand that. Why not just play the playoffs out and you've already made your decision, basically. This is it. Because let's just say for Gitz and Shiggles, they don't fire him. He gets in there, they get hot, you know, he's able to make adjustments on the fly, boom, 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 whatever. And they get to the finals and they win another championship. Does that change your mind? Maybe they didn't want that to happen because they didn't want their mind to be changed. And I mean, that would make sense too, but I don't know. It just really don't make a whole lot of sense to me. And it really shows that regardless of what the players do on the court, the coach is always going to be the scapegoat at the end of the day. You just look back on, what is it, the last 6 NBA championship coaches. So you got last season, Joe Mazzulla, he's still there. But then 23 is Mike Malone. He's no longer there. He's gone. 22 was Steve Kerr. He's still there. But 21 was Budenholzer with the Bucks. He's no longer there. He's gone. And 20 was Vogel with the Lakers. He's no longer there. He's gone. And 19 was Nick Nurse with the Raptors. He's no longer there. He's gone. Winning isn't important anymore. It is more so a business now than it has ever been. We've seen it with the Luka trade. That really solidified the fact that it is an absolute business. It's entertainment. I mean, I think the shared name is like what, National Basketball Association Entertainment. These are characters that we're watching. You know, the Steph Currys, the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant's. These are characters. I mean, they're real people, but they're characters. This is entertainment, dog. We're watching entertainment. This is like sports soap opera. But winning can't be that important when, you know, there's a bit of chaos. I think I would take a little bit of chaos if I'm winning any day of the week. And this man, Mike Malone, just won 2 years ago. But, you know, I guess it didn't align with what the owners want. And what the owners want is what the owners get. That's why they call them owners. I don't know, but let me know what you think about this whole situation in the comments below. It don't really make a whole lot of sense to me. And if anybody can explain it a bit more thoroughly to me, let me know in the comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. New to the channel, hit the subscribe button on your way out. See you on the next one.